Waking up from the Scientology trance. Part 1. Cognitive dissonance versus cognitive flexibility. When confronted with a new experience or new information that conflicts with someone's personal beliefs, why does one individual choose to change their belief system, while another does not? To help answer this question, the relationship between cognitive dissonance, cognitive flexibility, and belief systems was investigated. A link between cognitive processing and belief systems was discovered, and this model was proposed. People who have friends or family that are actively involved in the Church of Scientology may be interested in this model to gain insight into what might aid individuals in the process of waking up from the Scientology trance and changing their belief systems. It's okay to have doubts. Knowing how to know should empower you to think for yourself. How can you decide what is true for you if you don't confront the reasons why people leave Scientology? The answers you seek are out there. Don't be afraid to look.
You're stuck on the fucking time track.
Is that right?
Yeah. And you'll never get case gated. And I'm glad.
Are you really glad?
I'm glad.
What about you? Where are you on the bridge?
You don't have to know that.
No, why don't you tell me? Aren't you proud of going up the bridge?
Absolutely.
Well,
Why
where
won't
are
tell
you then?
Why should I talk to you?
Well, shouldn't you be telling people about your gains?
Absolutely. Not you, though. Because you're a squirrel. And you're stuck on your trap. And you know what? When you die, you'll die alone and in pain and in the dark.
How about you? You'll be in a seal for the rest of your life. You'll never have any money. You won't go up the bridge.
I won't go up the bridge, eh?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So where are you in the bridge then? You tell me. So don't you care that David Miscavige beats his staff? He's wasting church's money by spending
You're
it.
stimulated as hell. Why don't you go do a locational on yourself?
Why don't I do that?
Yeah, why don't you? And kind of destimulate from your incident.
So why do Scientologists feel
Why
the
do you
need to
destimulate
attack
from your
people?
incident? Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking David Miscavige?
I'm not
Why are
attacking
you?
you, I'm telling the truth.
Oh yeah, you're not attacking. You're telling the truth.
Yes, I'm telling
It's not
the
that you're an
truth.
SP. It's not that you're stuck in an incident. It's not that you're fucking up. It's not that you actually don't apply Scientology to your life. It's none of that stuff. You're a nice person, aren't you?
I don't beat my staff.
You're nice, aren't you? But you beat your wife, don't you?
I don't have a wife, actually.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's
don't
why.
do that.
No wonder.
Why do Scientologists always resort to personal criticism? So why are all these people protesting against Scientology?
All these people are you.
Huge
It's not
numbers of
generality.
people
It's a
have been
few people who are
protesting.
hired by you fucking assholes. That's all it
They're
is.
not hired by anyone.
Oh, bullshit. They're told.
Is that what you've been told? You've been
Yeah, I
told
talked
a
to
lie.
one of them. You know what?
David
They were paid
Miscavige-
£50.
That's a lie.
That's not. It's not a lie. They were paid £50
You are
each.
delusional if you believe that.
Yeah, I'm not
This is
delusional.
what the church
You know
tells
what?
you because they don't want you to know the
I
truth.
asked the guy
they
who was
don't want you
there.
to get on the internet.
I asked the guy who
What
was
guy?
there.
Where?
At St. Hill.
I've spoken to numerous anonymous people, and they all
Numerous.
protest.
You are just full of generalities. Numerous.
Yes,
Everybody.
more about
Why
20 or 30.
Everybody. Everybody.
Why are you
You're
spitting at
everybody.
me?
Everybody. They're all against you, aren't they? In particular.
No.
Yes, they are.
You're the one who thinks everyone's against you.
I do not. I think you're
Scientologists
against
think
me.
the whole world.
I think you're
They think
insane.
government,
Obviously,
police,
you are insane.
psychiatrists,
You are
anonymous.
insane.
Why
You
all
are
these
stuck in
people-
an incident.
Why-
You are crazy. You are insane.
Why
You are nuts. You understand what I'm saying? You're nuts. You're insane. You're crazy. You're stuck in an incident. You're nuts. You're insane. You are insane. I can tell you're stuck in an electronic incident on your whole track. You are nuts. Period.
Do you think if you repeat something enough, it'll become true?
No, I think it is true. I don't have to repeat it. I know it's true.
Cognitive studies terminology. A cognition is any knowledge, opinion, or belief about the environment, about oneself, or about one's behavior. Cognitive dissonance is the existence of non-fitting relations among cognitions. In contrast, cognitive consonance exists when cognitions support each other. Cognitive distortions are systematic errors in reasoning, which often stem from early childhood errors in reasoning. They can be an indication of inaccurate or ineffective information processing. Also occurs when a person's perception is twisted, or when they have mental static. Cognitive flexibility is the ability to switch cognitive sets to adapt to changing environmental stimuli. Alternately, cognitive rigidity is when someone is showing signs of using a black or white way of thinking, or has problem-solving deficits. Cognitive processing and belief system. Studies show that a person's belief system can impact the amount of cognitive dissonance or cognitive consonance that they experience. Milton Rockach studied the concept of belief systems in 1960 and proposed that they can be measured on a scale by degree of open or closed. The measurement for an open or closed system was defined as the extent to which a person can receive, evaluate, and act on relevant information received from the outside on its own intrinsic merits, unencumbered by relevant factors in the situation arising from within the person or from the outside. Definitions for the two basic types of belief systems that this study identified are as follows. A closed belief system is characterized by low need to know and high need to fight off threatening aspects of reality. Includes a tendency for black or white thinking that results in cognitive distortions and cognitive rigidity. Cognitive dissonance is commonly reduced in closed belief systems by using avoidance as a defense mechanism. In contrast, an open belief system is characterized by high need to know and low need to fight off threatening aspects of reality. Includes a tendency for open-minded thinking that results in cognitive flexibility. Cognitive dissonance is commonly reduced in open belief systems by using confrontation as a defense mechanism. Another means of reducing cognitive dissonance, that may or may not be impacted by someone's belief system, is expressing emotion. This causes a decreased likelihood that an individual will opt for using a defense mechanism. Is the bridge to total freedom delivering the stated goal? Did you reach the goal of going clear and being at cause over mental energy? Did you achieve being free from the influence of engrams and in complete control of your active mind? Do you feel at cause over life, thought, matter, energy, space and time? Are you in communication with the theta universe? Are you progressing up the bridge towards going OT and reaching a state of complete spiritual freedom? Is Scientology really helping you to achieve these goals? Or are these just sales pitches, slogans and empty promises? Your doubts are valid. Scientology's promises for knowing how to know, and being free to know life and know yourself, while having the self-determinism to find out what is true for you, should be characteristics of an open belief system that supports cognitive flexibility. But the reality is Scientology is a closed belief system that induces cognitive distortions.
Live from Clearwater, Florida, it's Make Money, Make More Money, Make Other People Make Money, the Scientology way. And now, here's your host, entrepreneur and leader of the Church of Scientology, Mr. David Miscavige.
Well, thank you very much. And tonight is the event you've been waiting for. Put it under the heading of Behind the Scenes, or let's just call it a little of what it takes to bring Dianetics and Scientology to the world. That's where we are going tonight. What do you do? And here's the answer.
You were looked at as to how many services that we could get out of you, and how much money we could milk you for.
Now, how could that occur?
You basically make the person feel really, really bad about the condition they're in. You take their problems and you magnify them. You look at how that's going to affect them in the future, and you get the person into a state where they feel that their future is nothing unless they do something and then you tell them that the only thing they can do is Scientology.
That's not my idea. That's the LRH design. Take a look.
People were persuaded to remortgage their homes, sell their homes, cash in the policies that were supposed to pay off their mortgages, borrow against their pensions, sell their family jewels, borrow from their families, sell their cars. Anything you can possibly imagine that a person could do to raise money, people were persuaded to do to pay into Scientology.
When you get the tech as LRH intended, in the exact form he intended, you get the results he intended when you apply it in your life. So let me show you.
Nuclear physicist Adam Bird was milked for £34,000. He went to the Scientologists for help with dyslexia, but ended up borrowing from various different banks to buy courses. Then several Scientologists came to lodge with him to help with the hefty interest payments.
During this event, they took over my life. I had not intended to put lodgers in my house. I now had lodgers in my house with Scientologists, one of whom was quite high up in their command structure. To help pay again, another one of them had loaned my car and was supposedly paying me rent for it. I then didn't have any means of transport.
Finucane says they charged $8,500 to his credit cards without permission. When they began phoning for more, he turned on his tape recorder.
So basically, I don't even have enough money for that. Just to even get to the point where I can do my own thing.
You have quite a bit, though, John. I mean, you know, but I don't think buying more is your problem. Your problem is your wife.
After this next one, I promise it's all downhill.
John Buchanan was a Scottish landscape gardener who worked in Germany. He piled up huge debts with several German banks to buy Scientology courses and materials. To escape his debts, he committed suicide. He left a final note for his mother, Mary MacDonald. He explained that he believed that he would come back to life and return to Scotland. For Scientology had taught John Buchanan to believe in reincarnation.
It's simply because someone from the wrong side of the gene pool messed up the manuscript.
It was all too much for Richard, both physically and mentally. Richard borrowed £3,000 to pay for Scientology courses. Tony Clark and other Bournemouth mission officials wrote Richard several letters. Some of them distressed Richard so much he tore them up on the spot. Others warned him of the consequences if he quit Scientology and asked him to come into the mission.
They phoned him 4 times a day, 5 times a day, for an hour each time on the phone. And while he was on the phone, he was shaking, he was a bit nervous, obviously frightened of something.
Richard was anxious about the fact that he was wanting to leave Scientology, and he was concerned that they were not letting him leave and that they were threatening to print personal information about him. That was what he voiced to me.
Much later that night, Richard parked his car by the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. At 10 minutes to midnight, he jumped to his death.
I feel, and my family feel, that Richard would still be alive today if he hadn't become involved with the Church of Scientology. And I feel that they have a responsibility for people that they're recruiting. And if people wish to leave the organisation, then they need to give people that freedom to leave without harassment and without threat.
That's been an impossible. And by the end of this evening's event, you'll know that to be a fact. And if that's a sampling, I assure you it's not even half of it. As a matter of fact, we brought along a demonstration. Take a look.
Lisa McPherson reached what is known in the church as the clear status, which promises inner peace and happiness. Just 2 months later, Lisa had a minor car accident, and after an ambulance arrived, she suddenly ran down the road, stripped off her clothes, and said, "I need help." Paramedics took her to the hospital for observation. Several Scientologists suddenly appeared and persuaded her to return to the Fort Harrison. Her condition rapidly deteriorated. After 17 days, the Scientologists finally decided to take Lisa to a hospital. But the driver bypassed the closest hospital and didn't even stop at the next one or the one after that either. Instead, the Scientologists drove for 45 minutes to Newport Richey Hospital, where the emergency room doctor was a Scientologist.
So, is that it? Not quite. Take a look.
She was dead on arrival, emaciated and almost completely dehydrated. Too late for Lisa McPherson. The Florida medical examiner conducted an autopsy and noted hematomas and skin lesions that looked like insect bites. The report stated she died from a blood clot, brought on by prolonged bed confinement and severe dehydration.
It's just awful that anybody's allowed, how they can sit and watch a human being die like that. They got her no help. They watched her die.
And even if you had a tinge of wonder about what that might entail financially, let me show you.
Over a 2-year period, Lisa McPherson spent $97,000.
Okay. In fact, let's get down to real basics. So let me show you.
A central doctrine goes like this. 75 million years ago, a tyrant named Xenu transported people from outer space to Earth, dropped them in volcanoes, then exploded hydrogen bombs on them. That experience is the root of all human misery today.
Let's phrase it another way. You are stupid. Stupid. You now know why. You are stupid. And the only reason nobody's saying it is because it's so ingrained, nobody needs to say it. You'll know that to be a fact. You are stupid. Thank you very much for attending, and appropriately, I leave you with LRH.
Do you ever think that you might be quite mad?
Oh, yeah. The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
LRH, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Understanding how cognitive dissonance works in a closed belief system. Scientology is a closed belief system. Scientology's training routines and the emotional tone scale are control mechanisms that impact cognitive processing. They teach practitioners how to control people, while conditioning them to be controlled, on psychological and emotional levels. Scientology PTSS tech and disconnection practices are avoidance mechanisms that causes severe black or white thinking, and enforces cognitive rigidity. Scientology ethics tech is a means for policing someone's cognitive processes, threatening a person's reality, and inflicting cognitive distortions. Scientology KSW policies prohibits changes to the parishioners' systems of belief and disbelief, which makes cognitive flexibility practically forbidden. What is cognitive dissonance? A condition that happens when someone realizes they're holding two inconsistent cognitions in their mind at the same time. Cognitive dissonance can happen when a person experiences new events or information that doesn't match with an existing opinion, cognition or knowledge concerning a behavior. Studies have shown that cognitive dissonance is a motivational state. It is felt as a psychological discomfort or unpleasant emotion and eventually drives individuals to reduce or eliminate dissonance. Two forms of cognitive dissonance commonly felt by cult members, along with their related reduction and elimination mechanisms, will be covered in Part 2. Examples of cognitive dissonance. A person could be thinking of two conflicting beliefs or ideas at the same time and experience cognitive dissonance, or arc break in Scientology slang. This cognitive dissonance then becomes a drive to reduce the dissonance and return to a state of harmony, or arc. Cognitive dissonance can also happen in decision-making. When an individual makes a decision, their thinking about the steps they took will often conflict, to some degree, with their existing opinions or beliefs. This is also referred to as moral dissonance. Why understanding cognitive dissonance matters. The bridge to total freedom will inevitably lead to cognitive dissonance when someone is brave enough to confront the truth about the harm that is being done to Church of Scientology parishioners. Understanding the difference between cognitive dissonance versus cognitive flexibility is an excellent place for someone to start down the road of self-recovery via cult education when sorting out uncomfortable feelings about their beliefs. For more information, please see the Wikipedia topic on cognitive dissonance. Changing someone's belief system. A closed belief system, and specifically the need to ward off threat, is an obstacle to an individual changing their beliefs. Assisting someone with breaking down any beliefs or distortions that are creating a closed belief system could be helpful. Taking ownership of one's beliefs, emotions and behaviors is necessary for a person to start changing their beliefs. Opting for confrontation mechanisms over avoidance mechanisms allows an individual to experience less cognitive dissonance and feel more in control of their situation. Feeling control over a situation supports better cognitive flexibility, might allow one to take responsibility for their feelings, and thus search for change within themselves. In Part 3 of this series we look at using open-ended questions that encourage reflection, rather than statements that trigger conditioned responses, to help someone adapt their way of thinking in order to encourage more cognitive flexibility and a change of beliefs.